In my last video, I expressed that there's no such thing as a shameful platinum trophy, and whilst that's true that no game can be truly shameful as long as you enjoy the experience, you can definitely be embarrassed by the ways you've earned some of your prestigious platinum trophies. And at some point, we've all stumbled upon a platinum or two we'd rather keep hidden, the dirty little secrets we hide away in sheer embarrassment. These are the games we know we shouldn't be playing because we know we won't enjoy the gaming experience, or we have other nefarious plans in place to obtain the platinum dopamine fix. Except of course for Capybara P. That's an educational powerhouse teaching everyone it blesses with the important facts of my spirit animal. Now, there's plenty of simulators out there in the wild, some more fun than others, such as the tedious yet oddly satisfying Power Wash simulator. I mean, who would have thought a good cleaning would be so fulfilling? Certainly not my office, that's for sure. And then you have the hilarious but grindy Police Simulator, a admittedly glitchy mess that looks as rough as a builder's estimate.
What the hell is even that?
But if there's one simulator out there that really defines the levels of boredom, the levels of tedium and sheer full-on embarrassment, it's none other than Bus Simulator 21 Next Stop. It's the perfect game for anyone who's ever raged at their local bus company over buses that arrive late, or drive like maniacs, or never even bothered to show up at all. So you declare that you could do a better job yourself. And I'll be honest, that's the only reason I started playing this disaster of a platinum. Now, don't get me wrong, there is some temporary fun and satisfaction in planning an efficient route, or carefully stopping your bus into a perfect arrival time, and counting everyone's change and checking everyone's tickets. You cheeky little bastard! But as you soldier on through this awful tedium of a platinum experience, you'll slowly find yourself turning off every simulation preset you can find, so you can become a drooling mindless mess, driving a bus in a circle whilst watching YouTube, hoping to max out every district for the King of the World trophy, which is probably one of the worst ones I've ever done in a game like this. It may be an ultra rare platinum, but I took away two aspects from this experience. The sheer embarrassment of wasting 131 hours of my life simulating one of the most annoying jobs in history, at least that's what I gather from all of this, and truly understanding why bus drivers can be as cranky as they are. Move! Fine. Take that, you cunt. But sometimes it's not even the game type itself that's embarrassing. Sometimes it's the way you've, well, earned the platinum, if you can even call it earned. A prime example of this is Conan Exiles, a open world survival game where your goal is to gather resources so you can craft, build and fight to survive in the harsh, brutal lands of Conan the Barbarian. It's an adventure you can tackle solo or with a friend throughout the 7 out of 10 difficulty 50-hour experience. Most of the trophies are situated around standard progression, such as reaching level 60, reaching certain areas within the world, and defeating all of the bosses that lie within it. There are some more complex trophies like What Do I Know of Cultured Ways, which is quite accurate for me to be fair, a task that requires you to not only first build a wheel of pain, but incapacitate an enemy, bind them and drag them to your wheel. Which is what some people consider a good Saturday night, just minus the black latex suits. I mean, I'm not judging or anything, totally not judging. But that's not the reason I'm embarrassed. No, it's because of two simple words. The admin panel. In a moment of weakness as an early trophy addict, I found out about and used the in-game console commands. Now, weirdly enough, these didn't disable trophies, which was quite a shock at the time, and I promised myself I'd only use it here and there as needed, just to gain a level or to become invincible so I could farm away in peace. But I eventually went temporarily insane, using it to pop the platinum faster than the priest deleting his browser history. And all these years on, that regret and embarrassment still remains deep inside of me, especially now when I realise I could have had a great experience earning that platinum legitimately with friends having a lot of banter. I mean, I know I can still play the game now, but too many platinums and not enough time in the world. But it's not the only instance I've used a console command prompt, as I used it briefly to save some time when playing Duke Nukem 3D Anniversary. Although I wasn't as embarrassed by that one, since I've already played the game series so much in the past to even care. Unlike The Sims 4, where I really felt the guilt. It's a series I've loved since its inception, and although it's best played on its original platform of the PC, they've always released a console version just for those of us out there who want to be tortured on a gamepad. Now, controls and the sometimes horrible frame rates aside, this 30-hour 3 out of 10 difficulty game doesn't seem that daunting for a simulation game, especially when it has some fun and weird trophies to hunt, such as what would it be like to woohoo with a ghost? A question I'm sure most of us have pondered at least once in our lives, like would it just float there like in zero gravity, or would it just shoot straight through and hit the wall? It could just be me, but you gotta think outside the box sometimes. But it also comes with a boatload of mind-numbing trophies, such as maxing out each skill and every single career path, the exact opposite of how I like to play my Sims games. I mean, if someone isn't going through a traumatizing, life-building event, it's not my Sims. So naturally, I gave up on this one, and when I did return to finally earn the platinum, I stumbled across the newly added gallery mode, a feature which allows you to download pre-saved families and pop the relevant trophies. Am I embarrassed by those 2 platinums? Yeah, I am. At least the Steve that's standing right here in front of you right now. Ask the version of me back then what he thought, and he probably would have said to you, bro, leave me alone. It's not my business. It's a free platinum. I don't care. I mean, yes, I realize I'm talking in the third person here, but I'm trying to weave a tale for you guys, so please just bear with me. And at the time, all I cared about was pushing the numbers. I wanted those statistics. I wanted as many platinums as I could scrounge up, and I did whatever I could to save time and make improving my completion percentage as efficient as possible. That was probably the peak of my transition into caring more about trophies and less about the games, like an addict chasing that high as opposed to the symbiotic balanced relationship I have with trophies and gaming today. And if we're being honest, we all dump on the jumping taco so-called games out there due to their exploiting zero value nature, but I can't lie, using console commands as well as downloading community maps to pop a platinum just like that is kinda cheap. It's just the same as those jumping games, at least in my opinion. Yours may differ. If it does, pop your thoughts down below. Although sometimes it's not just a game we played or the way we earn the platinum that makes us cringe in pure embarrassment, but the vast amounts of time we spend hunting one. And if there's one that will always haunt my soul and my PlayStation profile for life, it's the MMO known as Neverwinter. The Dungeons & Dragons MMO experience is probably one of the best of its type you'll find on consoles, with a fun and mostly welcoming community, plenty of quests and raids to take part in, and a deep rich lore of the D&D universe to fall back on. The platinum isn't as difficult as some of the raids can be within the game itself, sitting at a mild 3 out of 10, but you'll certainly spend a decent chunk of time earning this extremely ultra rare platinum at an estimated 200 hours, most of which will be leveling your characters, completing dungeons, and more importantly, slaying 1,000 drakes for Dragonsbane. Now, we all know the beef we've got with PSNP over here, especially their guides and their estimations. They usually don't factor in the real randomness of real players when they're going for their games and playing them as they should, as opposed to just purely hunting the trophies. They may say 200 hours, but they're not accounting for, ooh, shiny over here, shiny over there, let's play this for fun. So 200 hours, you're probably going to spend a lot more on this game. Is it possible to platinum Neverwinter within 200 hours? I mean, of course it is! In fact, you could speed it up significantly if you have a high level friend to Sherpa you through the game. But if you're truly enjoying the game for what it is, that's taking part in events, tackling harder raids for that sexy piece of gear you want, and exploring every inch of the world and its quests that the platinum doesn't touch on, well, you'll spend a whole lot more than 200 hours in the Sword Coast. And that's exactly why I'm embarrassed by this game in particular. Every time I look at my profile, I'm reminded of the thousands of hours I spent within that realm, becoming a business shark with my friend, all so we could have the best gear possible in the game. The addiction was real.
Warning, the dangers of a Neverwinter addiction are always present. You will miss meals, showers, and all aspects of social life. Obsessing over DPS rotations and raging at teammates in the Tomb of the Nine Gods are the early signs of dependency. Seek help now.
But sometimes it's not about the time we spend in our quest to earn the platinum, or even the type of game it is, or even how we earned said platinum. It's more about the actual quality of the game. Now, I've played some very suspect games for a variety of reasons over the years that would fit this bill, like the insanely crappy Zoro Chronicles. Was it a game I wanted to play? No. Was it a game I thought looked fun? Hell no! So why play it, you may ask? Well, it came down to the community event I was taking part in, the long-running challenge I created all those years ago, Plat the Alphabet. I created the challenge to randomly assign the users of my Discord a letter that they had to complete so we could fill out the Platinum Alphabet. And if you're unlucky enough to pull a Z or an X, your options can be limited, and that's where Zorro came in. Don't get me wrong, it's not a long game at 5 hours and is ridiculously easy even on the required hard mode for the Vigil Complete trophy, but the game is so mind-numbingly bad and repetitive it almost ruined my love for the Zorro films. But I'm used to low-quality games trying their best to destroy my love of some of my most beloved franchises, and Doctor Who is probably the premier example of this. Now, a big part of the charm that makes Doctor Who special is that it kind of is crap. It's supposed to have that slightly lower-end campy vibe that at this point is almost a part of its identity, and the game attempts over the years have been just as low effort and low budget, minus any of the charm that the show has. But far be it from me to avoid any Whovian lore and any chance at missing a platinum called Time Lord. And bad games I can cope with, but what is embarrassing is buying a Doctor Who mobile port on release day, mind you, where you literally play it with an emulated mobile screen on your TV. I won't sit here and lie, well, I'm kind of standing, but I won't stand here and lie and say I bought this game on release day no less, purely for an easy platinum. I genuinely love Doctor Who, and it is based around one of the most iconic episodes, Blink, and of course its enemy type it introduced, the Weeping Angel, that even Doctor Who fans probably don't realise. So a part of me, or the biggest part of me, truly wanted to see the extension of that lore. But in reality, the other half of me bought the game so I could try and be the first achiever on the PSMP boards when I actually cared about such a possibility, which I actually was for a short period of time until someone popped onto the board above me, making it a truly embarrassing situation at the time. Although when it comes to games we play purely for that cheap dopamine fix, regardless of the quality of the game, there is always a first. There is always that first crappy game. There is that genesis point, and for me, that was Albedo Eyes from Outer Space. It's an important part of my gaming history, being the first platinum I was embarrassed to have on my list. At the time, I was playing epic games such as God of War 3 and revisiting other classics like the original Dead Space. But I remember when I stumbled upon Albedo in the store and was strangely compelled to purchase it. Maybe I wanted to see that juicy platinum pop. Maybe I deluded myself into thinking the game looked quirky and fun. But the end result was me using a video guide to rush to platinum as fast as humanly possible. I remember feeling so embarrassed at the time, as the Steve of those years, yes, we are going third person again, only wanted to chase the most fun and hard to earn platinums, that it was years before I even considered playing anything remotely as sus again, and even though I got a platinum out of it, you can't polish a turd. I mean, you can roll it in glitter, a platinum glitter if you will, but it's still a turd, it's just a glittery Albedo style turd. But a turd, nonetheless. However, there's one form of embarrassment I've yet to cover. The dreaded auto pops. You know them. The controversial system where if you've platinumed a game on PS4, it will sometimes pop automatically as soon as you boot up the PS5 version, netting you a second platinum for free. Now, we're not going to dive into the deep morals of this because we've not got time for that here. Some of us simply like getting a second platinum for free. We've earned it before, so what's the problem? Whilst others will disagree with the entire concept and believe you need to earn the platinum again for it to truly count. I believe it's a personal decision that we've all got to make, whether we count it or not. But there is one that stands out there that really made me feel embarrassed as soon as I got that automatic pop in platinum, and it's none other than Jedi Fallen Order. It's a bit of a weird one. Some games out there like Destiny 2 or the hilariously fun Fall Guys store their data on the cloud, something you can't delete. So when a new version of the game arrives, you have no choice and can't avoid those free auto pop platinums. It just happens, which is a nightmare for someone who hates the system. But for single player games, the choice is directly in our hands. We can easily decide to delete our save data and earn the platinum from scratch, or take the easy way out and nab that second freebie. And I very much wish I'd taken the former route when it came to Fallen Order. It's one series I always implore people to play as a pure Star Wars fan. With its Souls-like combat, especially on Jedi Grandmaster difficulty, the semi-open world exploration in a lore-rich world that feels authentic, all capped off with a brilliant story. And I don't even know why I did it at the time. I was extremely pumped to finally play the PS5 version of Fallen Order, a game I loved so much, but I guess in a moment of weakness, I decided not to delete that save data, and before I knew it, most of the trophies popped, and I went ahead and completed the platinum within the space of an hour, and honestly, it left me feeling more embarrassed and more empty than having a meal at my local McDonald's. I still hate that I did that to this day, and I always get flack for it anytime I mention the game series to anyone, so I guess I'm getting my karma in the end. But what about you? Have you got any embarrassing platinums you're finally ready to reveal to the world? The place for that is down in the comments below or on the Discord server, but it helps more in the comments. As always, if you enjoyed the video, please like, it really helps the algorithm, and subscribe if you haven't already for more platinum related content. I've been Vaultboy Steve, and I'll see you all next time. Sayonara. What the hell was that click?